Hello! How's everyone doing? I know it's been forever since I streamed. Have you guys been up to anything recently? It's good to see you. Hello, Nye? Is Nye a good name to call you? Is that what I've called you before? And Emo Rat, hello, welcome. Hello to any lurkers, who are being quiet in the background. I see you, I promise. Yeah, it looks like we've got 4 watching, so long as, like, YouTube is correct. I know a lot of the times there's actually more than YouTube says there are, because YouTube's a liar. But that means there's, like... Okay, so I see Kyle. Hello! Hello, Kyle. So there's at least one more of you. Potentially more, because, you know, YouTube is weird. So, hello to the rest of you. Yeah, I don't know how many people we'll get today because it was really last minute, so it might be a light stream, which is totally fine. If we get more people than expected, great. If not, that's, you know, not a big deal. Because, this is kind of just a spur-of-the-moment fun little let's chat and catch up kind of stream. I got my sketchbook today. There's a little bit of a glare. I might try and see if I can fix that. But that's mostly just my camera, I think. Hello Scandinavia, good to see you. So this is upside down. I'm in Arashi's setup, as you can tell from the loli. This is, Shadow. I forget where her full username is. Most people know her as Shondo, little indie VTuber. Arashi's merch, not mine. Yeah, I'm using Arashi's setup, as I tend to do while I'm here, because it's just easier. He has everything pretty much set up already. Although I always forget that, although he pretty much has a stream set up going all the time, he doesn't have it fully set up the way I need it. So that's why I end up always starting stream like a few minutes after I'm supposed to. I think today I was like 15 minutes late. Oopsie. Because I'm like, oh, it'll all be set up. I just have to set up my camera, and then it's not, and then I have more work to do than I realized. But that's my bad. So, this is like my mixed media. This is from a stream forever ago. This is actually a really bad drawing because I was drawing at an angle. I was like, looking at it more like this angle, so it was hard to tell what I was actually drawing because I was working with the camera like over here more. I've got a better setup. I've got more of an up and down now. So I can actually, like, I don't know, look. I can bend over more and actually look at this sketchbook the way I need to. But with the setup I had before, I couldn't really lean my head over and see what I was actually doing. So this is funky. I actually haven't finished it. That's why this is just a void, because I was gonna do some texturing like this planet, but I think I was upset that it looked bad to me, so I didn't finish it. But oopsie. These are doodles I did the other day. I've got this little teddy bear character I started drawing. He's like cute, but also slightly odd because he's a little broken. So he's like almost uncanny cute. I think it's fun. It's kind of like, kind of inspired by like Hawaii art from like the Japanese movement, if anyone knows what that means. Because there's a lot of like kind of odd but cutesy art from Japan. And this is what I'll probably be working on today, but I want to do some doodly stuff first to warm up because I haven't drawn it all this weekend. But it's kind of hard to see what this is with the glare. Also, I'm recovering from a cold, so sorry if I'm coughing and stuff. But yeah, I've got these little characters. Actually, I've got the sketchbook with their designs in it. Let me pull that out so you can see it. But, you can see I've got the sketch, which is my Coley Ray, so it's blue, which helps me be able to see the ink better. But I've got these two little witchy characters in a library studying together. Kind of forgot you guys have not been introduced to these characters yet, so I didn't have their sketches pulled out to show you. This is my like daily sketchbook. This is the one. I have this in just to protect it because when I'm using graphite and colored pencils, it smudges sometimes. I had a little bit of that going on with the other one because I didn't cover him right away. So there's some smudges, but there's the one little witchy girl. And then we've got this guy. Oh yeah, I was working on his design, trying to figure him out. But this is his finished. He's too his legs are too short in this one. I always have this problem where I start too big and then run out of space with little sketchbooks. So like doing basically like reference art like this is better in a larger sketchbook, but anyway, that kind of shows his design anyway. And he's a raven, other girl's a cat, as you could probably tell. And I designed them recently because I'm obsessed with Halloween EOCs, and it was October, and I had just gotten these little plushies. I don't have them with me, but maybe I can find a picture for you guys. I got like a weighted plushie. It's probably like that big. It's like a little white cat with a witch outfit, and then the raven is like a smaller plushie. But, yeah, I got these two cute little witchy plushies, and then I made characters based on them. So that's what these are. And I started this probably right after October, beginning of November, but clearly I haven't finished it yet because I haven't had the time. So I want to work on that, but I want to warm up my hand first because this is inked. It's line art, and I have to have a stable hand for that. So how's everyone doing? Have you been up to anything interesting? I feel like so much has happened since we chatted. I have a lot of stuff to catch you guys up on. Which I'll do while I'm doodling. I have to decide which tools I want to use to doodle. I'll go ahead and just use, like, markers, because this is kind of fun to just, like I was doing with this little bear guy I showed you. Do it. There we go. There's a little bit of, like, sketching going on with some of these, but basically I just went in immediately with, like, pen and markers and just kind of, like, played around with them and didn't care if it didn't look quite right. And that kind of doodling is really good for warming up your hand. You're doing great, yay! Glad to hear it. Could be better, but you're doing okay? Okay, I'm sure that, things will look up for you. I hope it gets better soon. I know it's a busy time of year, at least for me, so I'm sure it's the same for you. Designing a new Sona, yay! I love to see it. She's a ball-jointed doll. I'm so excited. Just spending forever on mapping out all the joints. Oh, I get that. that's tricky. I've definitely had some struggles drawing ball jointed doll characters as well, but that's so cool. I love doll characters. And I think the ball joints are just such a fun, like, interesting detail. So I definitely want to see that. When you have something to share, please send it in the Discord or wherever. I want to see it. I gotta sip more tea for my poor sick throat. I've just got Earl Grey today. I wish I could show you guys the sweater I'm wearing because it's got a teddy bear on it and it's so cute. But it would be hard to get that in camera. I have to figure out what I'm doodling to. So as for me, I've been busy. Like, so ridiculously busy. I'm doing a part-time job while in school full-time, and it's just been a really busy, hectic semester. Also getting used to new roommates because, we had 3 new people move into our house this semester. And the house is way too small we have 5 people living there now. It's just too much. So that's been interesting. And like I said, I'm recovering from a cold, so I was sick, like, the beginning of this week. So that also was, another thing that added to the busyness, because then I had, like, stuff to catch up on, and yeah, it's been interesting. But there's good stuff, too. There's been, like, part of the stuff that's kept me busy has been positive things. It's not all, like, oh man, I'm stressed, and, like, there's so much work to do, and everything's awful. There's, you know, a little bit of that, but there's also good stuff mixed in. Used to keep porcelain dolls in your room to comfort you and loved watching doll customs, so dolls are just a long-lasting interest of mine. I love that. Me too. I have a little collection of porcelain dolls. They're in storage right now. I'm gonna start doodling because I'm never gonna start if I keep yapping without doing anything. I need to move this over though so I can get a better angle. But I have this little collection of porcelain dolls that, you know, I started when I was little because my mom would buy us, like, a doll every Christmas or something like that when my sisters and I were little. And, so my older sister had a bunch of them because she's older than I am, and we stopped getting these, like, we stopped adding to the collection when I was little. It was harder to get porcelain dolls, like, they stopped selling them regularly. And we also ran out of money. That's a whole different conversation. But, my sister had a large collection, and I had a few, and then my younger sister had a couple. And then when my older sister, like, moved out, she didn't want her porcelain dolls. Like, she grew out of dolls at, like, the appropriate age to be growing out of dolls, but, I didn't. So because she didn't want them, I just adopted her doll collection. So I just have all of the porcelain dolls that any of us have ever owned, plus I've added a few to my collection since then. I pick them up at, like, antique stores and stuff when I see interesting ones. So I have a little collection of those, and then I've been collecting, like, fashion dolls. And I've done a little bit of custom work. I have one doll that I've painted the face and made the wig and everything. I still have to make her an outfit. She's just wearing, like, Barbie clothes right now. And then I have another doll that I bought, like, without any clothes, just a bare doll, and then I made her an outfit. So I've done a little bit of that, and I'm trying to get more into it, but I don't have time for it right now. So eventually you'll probably see that kind of content from me, because I would love to show, like, the process of sewing their outfits and drawing their faces and stuff. I just have to have time for it. And money. Because it costs a lot to do customs. Like, just buying dolls on its own can be a lot. But yeah, I'm a big fan of dolls for sure. Sup, Goober? What's up, funny dragon man? I don't have a good one. I have no, brain cells today. I got, like, probably, like, 2 hours of sleep last night. So Arashi and Nani and I went to the arcade yesterday, and we're there until 1 a.m. and then Arashi and I stayed up until like 5 a.m. and then we had to get up early in the morning. So we barely slept. I didn't get sleep, I had a nap. So I don't know how many brain cells are functioning in my head right now, but there's not usually many of those functioning, so I'll be fine. Let's see, just dropping in, but lurking, cool. I'm glad to see you here, bud. I don't know what I was gonna say. I had a thought in my head. I have a squishmallow of you, Locke. I got the red dragon squishmallow because I took one look at it and was like, it's Locke! So I have that hanging on my bag now because it's one of the little keychain ones. Is that Sean? Oh yeah, this is Arashi's Shondo. I'm using his setup. So I've got his mouse pad. And I've got all his merch surrounding me. I've got Pippa Pipkin surrounding me over here. And then I've got Mume. And I've got Bochi the Rock little doohickeys over here. And I've got a Gura. And then I've got my Battle, my one. So I left this here one time that I was streaming down here. And he just hasn't left this spot. So this has become pretty much my regular streaming spot too while I'm like moving back and forth. So he just hangs out with Arashi's girls. He might as well be a girl anyway. So it's fine. He's baby girl. Excuse me. 5 people feels real crowded. Oh yeah, it is a tiny old little house that's really not designed for a lot of people. Like, it's supposed to have like maybe a small family of 3. Yeah, it's not made for 5 people. The landlord added new rooms, like extra rooms in the basement so that she could rent out more rooms so she could make more money off of the property. So it's overcrowded. It's not fun, but my one roommate, who's my friend, and I are looking at moving somewhere else next year because we don't want to be here anymore. Regrettably, you don't really have that many dolls. They're all at your grandparents'. Yeah, that happens when you have old collections. It's sad. I kind of have that situation, but a little bit different because I keep moving from like home to college and back and forth. So I have like some of my fashion dolls in my college town, and then all of my porcelain dolls and some of my fashion doll collection are back home. So I don't see them much, but I don't want to move all of that stuff back and forth and take it to college with me because it'll probably end up getting broken, and I don't trust the people who I live with. So yeah, it can really stink being like separated from your collections, but hopefully you can get out there and like visit them sometime and maybe take them back with you when you have a good space for them. Let's see. You'd love to make custom dolls, but it seems a bit daunting. It's really intimidating. It took me a while to get into it too. I actually wanted to do it for years before I finally did. But I started like simple. So the first thing I did was buy that one that I mentioned that like I got her without any clothes and just made her outfit. And she was a $10 cheap doll from Amazon. She wasn't anything special. So that's how I convinced myself to just get into it, was like, one, I'm not changing the doll itself. So I don't feel like I'm potentially destroying a doll if it doesn't end up looking good because I'm just making the outfit. So it was a little less intimidating. Plus, she was only $10, so I wasn't really worried about her. And like, you know, I could just order another one if I needed to. So that's what I kind of recommend, is like start cheap, start simple. From there, I bought a blank body and blank heads, so they didn't have face-ups already, so I didn't feel like I was ruining something. It was just like cheap heads, again, from Amazon for like $10 for a pack of 10 or something like that. And people do have mixed opinions on doing that, because usually they're, what do you call it, like copies. They're like not legit when you do that. So, there is that to consider if you don't want to support like reprints or whatever. But I think it's like kind of okay if you're just like starting learning and not like, you know, trying to sell the product or something like that. So like take that how you will. That's like kind of up to you if you're okay with that or not. But it is a good place to start out, is just to have blank heads and just play around with them, and have some what do you call it, rubbing alcohol or whatever around, so that you can, if like the face looks terrible and you hate it, you can just wipe it away and start again. And then for wigs, you can just buy like yarn, a spool of yarn for like $3 from any craft store, and make a wig out of that. Most people will they'll take the yarn and they'll brush it out with like a really fine tooth, like a dog brush. But then I found someone else had a method where they literally just pull apart the yarn and then use the little strings. So like you grab each end and just pull it and it just comes apart. So I did that for my first wig because that's like the cheapest option. And it was not too intimidating. And yeah, that was pretty like simple and easy to get into, with like doing like the most basic simple steps that I possibly could. And then you can kind of work your way up from there. That's kind of where I've stopped though at the moment, because I just don't have the time and stuff. You ever get money to commission them? Oh my gosh. I would love to commission a really good doll artist. But I also have the problem that my favorite doll artists don't really do that. Like, I follow Moonlight Jewel, and I watch all of her videos as they come out. And I don't think she does commissions, because she, like, doesn't feel right charging people for it or something like that. So, like, I would love to have one of her dolls, but it would be ridiculously expensive if she sold it at all, because it would be, like, a special thing. But I'm considering buying one of her blank BJDs, which was also going to be ridiculously expensive, so that's a future goal. That's not a now thing. They've always been your grandparents' dolls, but if they ever give them away, you're safe. Yeah. You take those dolls. I feel like that's, one of the kind of, like, benefits that comes along with older family members, is eventually they'll start getting rid of things, and then you get free stuff. Yeah. I need more tea for my throat. I've also got rice here. I keep forgetting I have that. That was my lunch, but I didn't finish it. So I just have it here. I thought I drew on my sleeve accidentally, but it looks fine. So we're gonna keep going. I always just default to doodling myself on stream. Probably because I'm staring at myself already on OBS. What else? So I told you guys a little bit about my new roommates, but not that much. That's a whole can of worms. That's been a whole thing. It's been a lot of drama around that. But what else? Started working this year. I never wanted to work and do school at the same time, because I just figured it would be like too much for me. I already struggle just keeping up with school. It's a lot of work. But we don't have money. So I kind of need to. So that's been like a new thing for me, is doing both at the same time. Because I've worked before. It's not like it's my first job. It's just the first I've done while in college. And it's also the first, like, retail job I've done, because I worked in schools before as, like, a substitute teacher or, like, something along those lines. Because, that's what I want to do. I want to teach, so it's easy to, get into for me because my mom's already a teacher, so she's hooked me up with jobs, and it's good experience for the future. But that wasn't an option because I'm in school. Well, kids are in school, so I can't teach kids when I'm in classes. So I went and I got a boring retail job, but it's not bad actually. It's like, as far as like customer service goes, I feel like it's actually pretty decent. So I've heard so many horror stories of like, you know, grocery stores and places like that just not being fun places to work and having bad customers, bad coworkers, stuff like that. But I haven't really had any issues with it so far. It's been pretty chill. The staff's pretty good to each other. So yeah, it's been kind of, I feel like I was lucky because I almost took a job at Target and I've definitely heard bad stories about Target from Target employees. But I didn't end up at Target, I ended up where I am, and I feel like it's a way better location, and it's literally right next to my school. It's like a 5-minute drive. And it's closer to where I live too, so it's like a 5-minute drive from the house and from the school. And then the Target would have been a longer drive because it's on a busy road, so I kind of lucked out. But yeah, balancing that with homework has been tough. So I've had no extra time for streaming or content, unfortunately. Which is sad because I want to do it all the time. But I just can't. Any free time that I've had, I've been trying to work on stickers and stuff. Because I want to start selling things around campus. So I've been like printing and cutting out stickers because I don't have a like sticker cutter like the Cricut or anything like that at the moment, so I just cut them out by hand for now. And that's not like hard work, but it takes a lot of time to cut out every sticker. So I've been doing that when I can, and I have some projects in my head that I really want to do. When I manage to find the time to work on content, I have so many ideas. Like, I just keep thinking things I want to do and then I don't have time for it, but we'll make the time. We'll figure it out. What else? I have more fun stuff to update you guys about. Because I know, like, work and school to talk is not exciting, but there are more exciting things that have happened in my life recently. The work and school part is just kind of the explanation of where I've been and why I've been so quiet. But there's other stuff. My older sister got married this month, like beginning of the month. So that was fun. I was about to say that was the most fun wedding I've ever been to, but it was only the 3rd wedding I've ever been to. And it was only the 2nd wedding reception I've ever been to, because the 1st wedding I ever went to, the reception was adults only, and I was a teenager at the time. I think I was a teenager. So yeah, I did not go to the reception for that one, and I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it if I did. Based on the videos I saw, it looked like it was a lot. And I'm not usually much of a social event person, so just weddings and receptions don't sound like something I would usually enjoy. But this one was fun. And my new brother-in-law, his family is super fun. They're a little crazy, but in a fun way. They are party animals. But, like, not in a way that's exhausting somehow, because usually that's exhausting to me. But they're just fun. They have a good energy. So yeah, we had a good time. We danced, like, all night, my little sister and I, which is also not like us. So it was fun. And Baby Metal concert is next weekend, and I'm so excited. I will be definitely updating you guys about Baby Metal after the concert, because it's been on my mind since we got the tickets this summer. And I'm pretty hyped about it. And it's been literally years since I've been to any concert, so it's gonna be fun. The other fun thing I've done is the arcade, which I just told you guys about. But what makes it more fun than just going to an arcade? They were doing the Hololive collab event. And we've been wanting to go since the event started. We were actually worried we were too late for it because it's been going for a while, and it was like first come first serve with like the merch and stuff. So we were a little worried they'd be sold out, and we got there and we were looking around the crane games looking for the Hololive themed like crane game stuff, and we didn't see it at first. We were like, oh no, is it gone already? Are we too late? And then we found it in like the last row of crane games, and there was a crane with just like a few of the Hololive plushies. It was like 2 Guras, 1 Iris, one of something else. Oh, 1 Fuwawa. That was like it. And someone else was like at the crane when we first got there, so she got the Fuwawa. And we were like, no, we're not gonna be able to get any of them. But then we got both Guras and the Iris. Arashi got one of the Guras and I got the other one. And then I got the Iris. And then I found one of the mini crane games that still had a single Gooba. Just one lonely Gooba in the mini crane. So it's like the little head. So this was the mini crane one. that was the only one left, and I got it. I saw it and immediately was like, I'm getting it. I'm doing it, and I got it. Only took me a few tries too. And then the regular crane game Gooba. There's a little tail. And the Iris. She's super cute. I think Iris looks really good in the outfit that they gave her for this collab. Her little bows. They're all like kind of schoolgirl themed because it's like, you know, schoolgirls after school going to the arcade together. And they're cute. So I got those. And then they had like the like bundle thingies when you got your like arcade card thing for your points. And there were 2 deals. One was that you could get like the $120 card and get a keychain with it, or you could get $50 worth of points and then a beach towel, and that was like a $100 bundle. So we spent way too much money, but we both got a beach towel, and it's definitely not gonna fit in the whole screen, so I'm not gonna be able to show you the whole thing. But it's got all the girls from the collab. It's got Iris. Look how cute she is in this art. Oh my gosh, cute. But there's Iris, and there's Mokoko, and then there's Fuwawa over here. And oh yeah, they're bowling. And then we've got, I knocked over something. I'll pick it up in a second. Inya. She's so cute too. I was really sad actually that they didn't have anything left for Ina because I love Ina in this set. She's so cute. She pulled off the look so well. And then we've got 2 of the JP girls here too, which is really cool because it's like a US only collab. So I would expect it to just be EN girls, but no, they got two JP members too. And they're also super cute. So it's Okayu and Fubuki. Which are, I love both of them. They're both very cute. So I'm glad they were part of the collab. And then obviously there's Gooba. She looks kind of funny when I don't have her laid out right. But yeah, they're all cute. And then Arashi got the towel that's just Gura. Because of course he did. But yeah, we got stuffs. We were too late for the themed drinks because they had like themed drinks for each of the characters, and then it would come with a coaster while supplies last. And supplies didn't last, so we didn't get one. But that's okay. Yeah, Baby Meadow. I know I'm really late to read those. I was yapping about Hololive. My hyperfixation. But it was so fun. Even if it wasn't for the Hololive event, like, I still would have had a blast. I love the arcade. Specifically, it's round 1 arcade, which the event was for round 1s, like, across the country. And it's just a good arcade, which there are not that many of left in the US. But it's a good one. They have, like, a whole bunch of Japanese cabinets. So, you know, the Japanese know how to do arcades better than we do. Yeah, so they've got, like, a whole section of just rhythm games there, and that's my favorite part. I love the rhythm games. And then they've got a whole section that's just crane games, and then they've got a whole section that's just fighting games, and then they've got a whole section that's just, like, the what do you call it? The gun games. And then they've got the little section of gambling games, like the coin pushers, which Arashi and Nani were very hooked on. They spent a lot of money just on that coin pusher. And then I got bored watching them, so I wandered off and played rhythm games. But I've also learned that next time I go in to play rhythm games, I need to bring headphones, because then I can't hear them with all the noise of the arcade, and then it's harder to play them. Shooters? Yeah, there's a specific word for the shooters, like, with the like, plastic guns that you hold and point at the screen, and I forget what the name is for those, but yeah, the arcade shooters. But yeah, I love the arcade. And I still have a whole bunch of extra tickets on my card because I got the bundle with the beach towel, and it was more points than I needed. We got a little microphone. I'm trying to sneak in here. That's from the Bochi girls. Anyway. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of extra points now, which means I can go back to the arcade another time and bring headphones and go play my little rhythm games and have fun. Yeah. I'd have to try still, like, the DDR style games. There's always people playing those when I go to the arcade. They look so fun, but I'm also horrified of people noticing me in public. So I don't like doing the more flashy games. But someday I'll do it. I'm just staring at this, trying to decide if my hand is warmed up enough. Probably. I'm trying to remember if I had something else to update you guys about. Because I'm bad at remembering things, and usually I write down bullet points of things to talk about on stream, but today I was like, nah, it's just gonna be a casual thing. So I didn't. I need all of my pens. So the fine liners I have here are a mix, because I have my Pigma Microns that are my favorites. Yeah, I love these pens, but everybody does. This is kind of like one of the favorite fine liners among artists in general. So no surprise that I like them, but I feel like these dry up kind of fast. Maybe I just use them too much, or maybe the ones I have are just a little bit older by this point, but they end up drying up. So then I end up switching to these. Fine Liner Graphics, which is a really similar pen. They're not that different. They're a little bit cheaper. So like if you have a budget, these are easier to get a hold of than the Microns, and they're not that much like lower quality. They're still high quality pens. So they're a good option. And I got these from a art box. The autofocus is being kind of annoying, so I'm gonna stop putting that up to the screen. But I got them in an art box years ago, and they're still pretty juicy, so that's pretty good. I don't like replacing my fine liners all the time, so I just put up with having a mix until they all dry up, and then I have to get more. But I love these fine point microns. We've got an 01 and an 005 here. Those are the tiniest ones I have, and I love these. These are really fun to just sketch with. You've got these like thin little lines in like sketchy. It's a nice aesthetic, and they're really good for lining fine details. And I feel like these work really well. I don't know how to explain it, but these thin tipped pens, so they're like a little bitty. Do you see how small that tip is? I feel like they get messed up really easily because they're so small. They're like delicate, so you'll use them a few times, and if you're not careful with them, they'll stop working. But these, I haven't had an issue with them so far. So I really like the microns for the thin pens. All your microns are dried up. Yeah, it happens. I do feel like these fine liner graphics last longer than microns. So it's like the trade-off is like slightly higher quality versus much longer lasting, and even the quality difference is not that much. But I still like the microns, and I just like the aesthetic of them. Look how pretty they are. I don't know. I like both. I wouldn't choose one over the other. You just draw with ballpoints usually. That's totally fair. I use like cheap Bic pens. I don't know if I have any on me currently. I might. I usually have one in my bags so that when I'm out and I'm bored, I can doodle with them. Okay, well I don't have an actual Bic pen, but that's because I have this one here. And this is basically the same thing. This was like a Five Below pack of pens. And yeah, they're like really cheap little ballpoint pens. But they work really well for sketching. One of the things I really like about sketching with these kinds of pens is that they're light enough. If you apply barely any pressure, you get a really light sketch, and then you apply more pressure and it's a dark line. So you can kind of like sketch it out and then like darken the lines you like. And it's just a fun look for sketches, and it feels less intimidating than using like a fine liner where you draw a line and it's there. It's a dark line. There's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, if you don't have a budget, cheap pens are all you need. The nibs are sensitive, but give good ink dispensing. Yes, absolutely. And have reduced bleed. Yeah, they're pretty good. They don't bleed too much, which is definitely a plus for me because I use cheap paper for my regular sketchbooks. All your pens are brightly colored, so it's not very good for lining. That's fair. So you like sketch in bright colors? That's also a really fun look. I've done that. I think I probably don't have an example of that because it's probably in a different sketchbook. But I've definitely had full spreads where I've used different colors of pens for different doodles on the page, and it's all colorful and it's pretty. I like it. It don't really line much, so it doesn't matter much to you. All understandable. So what kind of are you just digital, or do you do like pencil sketches or stuff? What kind of mediums do you use? And this goes out to everyone too. If you want to answer what your like go-to mediums are, or even like what you use for sketching, if you use different tools, I'd like to hear. Everyone's art process is so different, so it's fun to hear. I have a snag in my sweater. I keep getting snags because my dog's nails get caught in my sweaters. Bought some really cheap markers and they bled through your art. Oh no! Which was like in a booklet type thing, so you couldn't do. Oh man, that stings. Mostly digital, but when you're sketching, you go into the ballpoint. Nice, nice, nice. Don't like graphite much. I understand. I like graphite for some things, but not for others. And it can be really frustrating when you're sketching in sketchbooks and like taking it around with you, because it smudges so easily. Which is why, like, when I was showing you guys my daily sketchbook earlier and I had the like colored pencil artwork, I had like what do you call it? Tracing paper. I cut a piece of tracing paper to be like the right size for the page, and I taped that over it so that it won't smudge on the other pages, and that does help. There's also like sprays you can use for graphite so that they'll be like permanent and won't rub off. But it's just so much easier to use pen when you don't want smudging. That's what I do most of the time for my like regular daily sketching now. I just use cheap pens like this, or I'll use one of my thin little microns. Whether I use an O1 or an 005 just depends on my mood and what kind of sketching I wanna do at the moment. But I use those, and I also use the coal erase sometimes because this doesn't really smudge either. It's not really graphite, it's like a colored pencil, so that the texture is different and it doesn't smudge the same. And it's still kind of erasable. And then, I have this other, yeah, that's my knife, don't worry about that, it's for crafts. This guy, this is a calligraphy pen. It's getting a little old, so I feel like the pen's been inconsistent because it's got kind of a shaped tip, so it's pointy but then it's like rounded, so you're supposed to be able to get really thin lines or like thick bold lines and have variation, and I feel like it's inconsistent now and it's harder to control because the nib has probably worn down. But I love this thing. This is like my favorite pen because it's got such an interesting texture, it has such a fun look to it, has a little bit of that, you know, like Japanese calligraphy look to it because it is a Japanese calligraphy pen. So it's a Tombow, and it's hard to find these in stores here. This one also came in the same art box that I got these from. So I didn't purchase this one myself, I just ended up with it because it was in the box, and then I tried it because of that and fell in love with it, and then I've had to keep my eye out for it because it doesn't really show up in shops very often. But I haven't had to replace it yet. This is the original pen, and I've had it for years, so I will look into replacing it when I get sick of the control being not as great as it used to be. But I still love using it for now, so I like that one a lot. That's a fun, it's a more bold like sketching look. But yeah. Write all your schoolwork in pen, which your teachers don't appreciate. Yeah, teachers don't like that. But use what works for you, honestly. You can always scratch things out and rewrite. You hate the sound and feel. Okay, I get that. I like the feel. I like that little bit of grit, but I can definitely see how that would be annoying for some people. It would help if you bought an automatic pencil. Oh yeah, mechanical pencils are actually great. Like this. I use this when I'm sketching with pencil. I use this. I don't use regular standard number 2 pencils. I pretty much exclusively use mechanical pencils. They're just so much easier. You get so much control with this. It's always sharp. And then what I really like to do is I'll be like sketching with it on one side and not the other, so that one side ends up flat and the other side ends up really pointy. So if I want really fine lines, I can use the pointy side, and if I want to like shade things in, I use the flat side, and it gives a more smooth, soft shade. Yeah, so that's nice. It's fun. And I use a 0.5. I think that's like perfect for delicate sketching, but a lot of people prefer a 0.7 because they're harder to break. You can use a little more pressure. Has the feel of a pen, but the ability to erase. Yep. Yeah, that's what's nice about it. You still have to deal with it smudging, but it has a better feel for if you don't like that standard pencil feel, for sure. I have to remember what size I used. I think I used the O2 for this. So we've got our boy over here looking a little distracted, and then our girl over here, she's sitting on a pillow. We've got bookshelves in the back, we got a plant, we got a cauldron because we need them witchy vibes. I've really grown fond of doing these kinds of sketchbook spreads that are full illustrations. So I used to only do like characters with white backgrounds or just like doodles in sketchbooks. I never did full illustrations. But I like filling out a spread like this and having like a bunch of little details to look at, but having it still be like casual and sketchbooky, so I don't feel like intimidated to make sure everything looks perfect and nice and neat, but I still have like the full scene to look at, and sometimes it's just fun to line little details. So that's been like a new thing for me that I've really started doing a lot. I could show you some of that in my daily sketchbook, but I don't want to show you too much because when I finish that I will be doing a sketchbook tour, so you'll get to see everything that's in there. It's the same sketchbook that I had earlier. This is what I sketch in every day, and this is just a cheap sketchbook that was like $7. It's getting a little messed up because it's been shoved into many bags, taken many places. Yeah, but I've been doing these little scenes, and they're fun, and they like kind of tell a story, and like I get to let my characters shine a little bit more. Ah, that's not the scene. Okay, that's like the end of it, but yeah, you get the idea. There's another one. Yeah, it's fun. I might have to get a second drink. I'm already halfway through my tea. So I can tell you guys a little bit about these characters. They don't have names yet, and their story is kind of like vague. I don't know most of the details yet. I just know like the premise and the setup basically. And in another one of my sketchbooks, I did make like a like comic page that was kind of like how the two characters met, and it's just like a casual, like not super well drawn or anything, just for fun for myself kind of little comic page. But it's nice to have that visual because like it would be a comic if I were to write this, and then if I have kind of like the lazy version of what the first page would be like, it gives me a more clear visual of like what the story would look like, how the characters would interact, stuff like that, and it's just fun to do that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't have that much beyond that figured out. These were just kind of casual. I didn't even mean to actually turn them into OCs. I actually was just doing the designs for fun, and then I went, I like these characters. Which is not surprising, because one, I do that all the time, and two, they're literally witchy themed, and I'm obsessed with anything spoopy. Halloween season is like my favorite season. That's also why I have black nails right now. I know they're more than just black, but usually every year for Halloween I'll paint my nails like black, purple, and orange, or like black with ghosts or something like that, just to fit the spooky vibes. But this year I've still had my nails done all nice from my sister's wedding on Halloween. And I didn't want to take off my pretty nail polish yet, but it was purple, so it still fit like Halloween colors. But since I didn't have them black for Halloween, I painted them black after. I forgot I was going to tell you guys about the OC, and then that turned into a tangent on my nails. Oopsie. So yeah, like I said, they don't have names, but little cat girl and Raven man. And, he can't fly. His wings are too small. It was like just a birth defect. So he has a whole complex about that because he's the only Raven who can't fly. And then he meets a little witch cat girl, and she can fly on a broomstick. He's like, wait, you can fly, and you don't have wings. Can you teach me how to fly? So he basically becomes a witch or wizard. I'm trying to decide if I want to just use the term witch for all of them, or if I want to like refer to them as witches and wizards, like Harry Potter style. I haven't decided. But regardless, he takes it up. He learns the stuff because he wants to learn how to fly. That's the basic premise. But yeah. I just like the whole vibe because then I have this whole concept where, you know, it's like a little, like, village, kind of like a hideout, where all the little witch characters hang out, and, like, they have a little school where they teach them stuff, and, like, I don't know, look after each other. So then I get to just draw, like, spooky, Halloweeny, witchy themes for, like, a whole cast of characters. And it's fun. I don't have much figured out besides that, though. I do know, though, that she's still learning herself. She's still kind of new to it. So she doesn't teach him. She just, like, takes him back to, like, the witchy village or whatever. And then he gets tutored by one of the more knowledgeable witches. And then they learn together. So they're studying together like besties. Even though he's a good bit older than her. But she became a witch first, so she knows more than he does. And he's kind of a pathetic man baby, and I love that. I support a pathetic man baby. But emo edition. And he has a cute little ponytail. Which some people probably know. I like a cute little ponytail. If you don't know that, well, you'd find out sooner or later. I'm realizing a lot of her hair strands here were really roughly sketched. I didn't have them planned out super well, so I'm just kind of winging it. I'm like kind of following a sketch, but not completely. I'm trying to avoid tangents because I didn't pay much attention to that apparently when I sketched it. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Or should I adjust the camera? Because I know it's got a little bit of that weird, like, light situation going on. So if it's harder to see, I could probably zoom it up a bit. Just let me know. It's also not the highest quality camera because it's just my phone camera. Actually, I think I want to do this. No. Let's do this. I'm trying to decide if I want the ponytail in front or the other strand. So I'm just going for it. That line did not work quite how I wanted it to, but we're gonna roll with it. I like how her hair looks like there's motion to it, like it's like floating or moving, but she's literally just sitting. Maybe she just fidgets a lot when she's sitting, so her hair moves around. I also did not define her fingies. And I'm really bad at freehand lining fingies, so I'm probably gonna have to do a more defined sketch of those when I get there. Yeah, I think from there I have to sketch the fingers better, because if I don't have those laid out properly and I try to line everything else, I'm gonna mess up alignment and stuff. If you ever feel bad, like a bad artist, because you struggle drawing hands, just know that everybody does. I don't know why little sausage, little French fry doohickeys are so hard, but like sometimes when I draw hands, they look amazing, and then other times they just refuse to work for me, and it's like kind of inconsistent. And there's not much I can do about it. I mean, there probably is things I can do about it. It's probably studying and practicing drawing hands that would help with that. But, you know, sometimes hands just don't hand, and that's okay. These ones look okay as a sketch, but you never know what'll happen with the line art, because sometimes the pen just has a mind of its own. And that's the way to make myself feel better about the fact that My line art is sometimes wonky. Okay, that's good enough. I might just cover that with the sleeve so our hand just kind of disappears in that. Then we don't have to worry about it. And then book. Ah. Okay, that line didn't work right. That went too straight across when I needed it to go down. Yep. Yep. I also did not sketch her feet properly. They're kind of just blobs. So I'm gonna have to sketch that too. I got a little lazy with the sketch at the end of this because I think I was just like ready to stop sketching it. So she's just got blobs for feet. Let's see. Could shape her leg a little bit better here too. Since this character doesn't really wear shoes, I have to actually draw her toes, which makes things more difficult. Because just drawing a shoe is much easier than drawing toes. I definitely have drawn 4 toes on here when there needs to be 5, so let's see if we can squeeze another in. It'll work out somehow. It looks like a blob right now, but I'll find the details in the line art. Man, toes are weird. That line is not where I meant it to be, but I think it'll work. Yeah. I just kind of adjusted this one slightly. And I have to shorten this foot a little bit because I made this one a little short. So we don't want them to be too uneven in size. Good enough. Oh, let me show you guys my little Sanrio gotchas I got too. I forgot to tell you, we also went to this little shop that is like my favorite store ever. I can't share what it's called because I'm not sure how many locations they actually have. But it's like the best shop ever. It's like a little Korean store that has a lot of like merch from like Korea, Japan, stuff like that. So I like to go in every now and then and get a few little things. Every time I go in, I get like a cute hair clip. So this is the one I got this time. It's super precious and it's super soft and it's got little cherries. And I've been looking for accessories with a little bit of red on them because it's a color I don't have much of in my wardrobe. So we got a little bit of red there. And then it's like a pretty neutral white color, so it'll match with just about anything. And it is a little bit bulky. So usually when I wear hair clips, I'll just have like one like on the side of my head, like pinning back my front hair a little bit. But this one's a little too bulky for that, so I have to find cute ways to style it. Probably I'll do like a little pigtail and then clip it on that or something. But it's cute. And I like it. And these, I think they're handmade. Yeah, so the little tag here says that it's handmade, which is cool. I have another one with this same tag from the same place, and it's also really cute. They're some of my favorites. And then I got Sanrio gotchas because I'm obsessed. I got Hello Kitty, and she's a little chef. So I've been collecting keychains recently. Because I like that like over decorated look where girls will just like fill their bags with keychains. So I'm kind of doing like a light version of that. Not going as extreme as I've seen, but I like to decorate things. So I got a little chef Hello Kitty. And I kind of want to go back and get more because like this one's super cute, but I feel like it was one of the less cute options. Like the other ones are super cute. So I might go and get another one at some point. And then I got a My Melody one too. I already have that hanging on my bag here with my some of my other. Oh, they're all messed up. Wait, they're tangled. But I've got this one. I got this one too. And she's so cute. She looks like a little sailor girl or something. And I love her. And these feel sturdy. A lot of these little cheap gotchas are like really cheap feeling and they don't feel very sturdy, but these ones feel like a big old chunk. Like she's not gonna get messed up that easy. And I've got my other little keychains here too, which I've collected over different trips to different places. That one's a cinema roll. And then the My Melody, and we've got Kuromi, little gothic Lolita Kuromi. She's so cute. I have a like sweet Lolita My Melody that matches her, but she's just sitting on a shelf right now, like a little figure kind of. So that's what I got on my bag. On this one, at least. I've definitely gotten into a phase of just collecting a whole bunch of Sanrio stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of like embracing my inner child. I mean, I've always done that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been collecting plushies for forever. But it's been so easy to get cute Sanrio stuff recently, because they've been, like, fad, I guess. I don't know if fad is the right word. Like, they always come back into style, so I don't know if it's really would be considered, like, a fad, because it's not like they go out of style. But they've been really big recently, so they're everywhere, and we're starting to get, like, cuter, like, Asian style merch of them, where before it was hard. Like, it was way easier to get, like, really cheap, like, kitty stuff before. That was, like, bright colors and just basic mascot art. But I'm seeing more stuff now that's, like, actually cute. So I've been collecting. You know, I have some plushies, some figures, some keychains, and then, like, a couple mugs and, like dishes and stuff like that I've been collecting. So I have all my cute Sanrio stuff. I was a Hello Kitty fan as a kid, and then as an adult, I'm a My Melody fan. So those are the two that I collect the most. But I also love the others, especially like Kuromi and Cinema Roll. What did I do with... There it is. Do you guys have favorite Sanrio characters? I knocked over more stuff. I'll pick it up. I'm very good at knocking things over. But I'd love to hear your favorite Sanrio characters, or like other like Japanese or Korean mascot characters. There's so many cute ones, like Rilakuma is everywhere. And they're cute. What else? Gudetama is Sanrio, right? Because I was about to be like, oh, that's another one, but I think it actually is like looped in with those. I'm trying to figure out my sketch of this thing she's sitting on, and my sketch doesn't make sense. Maybe I'll come back to that. There's some stuff in front of it, so I should draw the stuff in front first. Never been super into Sanrio that much, but you love Kuromi and the penguin guy? Yeah, I'm blanking on his name. I have a little figure of him that I got in a gacha pack. He's really cute. With his little sailor hat. And Kuromi, of course, is a favorite. It's hard not to love little like goth girl. And like her and My Melody combined, like together, are perfect because it's, you know, cutesy pink versus like black goth, and they're both adorable, and I enjoy the combination. Arashi and I have been doing a thing where like I'll collect the My Melody version of something and he'll collect the Kuromi version, so we have matching sets. It's fun. You love Domo-kun? Let me look that one up. I don't know all of them super well, but it's just trying to show me merch. I just want to see character. There we go. Oh yeah, this little guy, like the little monster that looks like a brownie or a meatloaf. I don't know if he's Sanrio, but I definitely remember when he had like a whole phase. He was everywhere for a little bit. He's so funny. I like him. Batsumaru. Is that the one you're talking about? The little, what is he? He's a bird. He looks like a crow or a raven to me, but then his name makes him sound like he's a bat. But he's definitely not a bat. It's probably some kind of Japanese pun. But yeah, he's really like grumpy looking, and I like that about him. I have merch of the Black Cat one. I don't remember his name. I should look that one up. Actually, I could look up Sanrio Black Cat and it would come up. Sanrio Black Cat. Choco Cat. That's really easy to remember. I should have known that. But I have a the McDonald's Yu-Gi-Oh! Sanrio collab toys. I have one of those of Choco Cat. I really wanted the My Melody one, but I didn't get one. And it's Cinema Roll was my second choice, but I didn't get that one either. I just got 3 Choco Cats, and then I gave up. But he's really cute. So I'm definitely keeping the one, and then I have 2 extras that I have to figure out what to do with. I might give them to someone, if I find someone who wants them. You think it's a reference to a game or something? Probably. Batsu means, like, an X? Yeah, that could make sense. The Japanese love their puns. So most, like, mascot characters they're some kind of pun. I think, like, Gura-tama is, like, lazy egg. Like, the tama part is from tamago, which is egg. And I don't know the other word, but yeah, I think it basically means lazy egg. And then, like, Tamagotchi is the same thing. Tamagotchi is a mix of tamago, egg, and tomodachi, which means friend. So it's like egg friend. My line! That didn't work. I don't have a good angle here. And the lighting is not great in here, but I can't blame the lighting too much on my lines being not straight. I think Keropi is really cute too. He's the frog. He also reminds me of the Sweet Frog mascot, like the frozen yogurt place. And they're pretty cute too. I've actually considered buying one of the Sweet Frog plushies because I just think the frog is cute. Well, I've seen a lot of cute Pom Pom Pudding like merch too, cause he has kind of like a cafe vibe. It's like yellow and brown with like a cute little hat, and then he's got like coffee themes in a lot of his merch and stuff. So he's got some pretty cute stuff. I feel like that's like all the ones I've named are pretty much the fan favorites, so they just have the most diverse merch probably. Oh, there's one character that I feel like is popular in Japan, but not here or something. Because, like, I've seen the character, but I never see merch of them. And I don't remember the character's name. They're like the rabbit with the 2 different colored ears. Like, one is blue and one's pink or something like that. And I've, like, seen people talking about them. I've seen people share their merch of them. But I never see it in stores. So that's interesting to me. Like, they seem like a fan favorite that's, like, just not available. Maybe they're just, like, a cult favorite. Like, they have just a few, like, really dedicated fans. Yeah, that one. I don't know why I don't see more of him. It's a cute character. I need to figure out what I'm doing with this pillow. Because I definitely have two separate sketches here. Like, I think I first had sketched out just, like, the general area of, like, what surface she could be sitting on before I decided what she was sitting on. And then I drew this shape down here that's supposed to be like a long pillow, and it doesn't line up with this shape, and I don't know what I was thinking when I sketched that. She was in the Hello Kitty Party Prep game. Yeah, that kind of makes sense to me that it would be like in a game that is probably most likely like a Japanese game that has been like translated. So therefore, a character that's more popular in Japan than here would be in it. Like that makes sense to me. But again, I don't know why the character's like not around here. I don't know. It's interesting to me. Although I think I did hear like a fan, like a YouTuber I follow who's a huge fan of them, talk about how it's harder to get merch of them. But I don't know. Neither of these sketches make sense. Past me, how could you do this to me? How do I make this make sense? So I feel like this has to be a really big pillow to work this way. I could just make it a beanbag. Just stretch it out a little bit. Make it take up more space. And that could get rid of some potential tangents because these lines were looking a little too close. Yeah, let's do that. She's sitting in a beanbag now. And then I have to change the position of her tail because it was kind of sticking up over the pillow before, but now the beanbag is too big. But I didn't like where that tail was anyway because it looked too much like a monkey tail the way it was looping around. So we're going to put it in front instead. Ta-da! Sanrio is really interesting to me though. They just celebrated their 50th anniversary, and I only know this because there's 50th anniversary merch in stores everywhere. So they're 50 years old, and they've been popular like the entire time that they've existed. Like usually things have phases. They'll be popular with like one generation of kids, and then they kind of disappear. But Sanrio has lasted that long. Like, I had Hello Kitty stuff when I was a kid. My mom talked about having Hello Kitty stuff when she was a kid. It's like a multi-generational thing. And it's really interesting to me. That works. Beanbags are kind of a weird thing to draw because they're kind of just a blob, but you have to kind of show they have some form besides just round because they do like squish and stuff. little bat pillow over here. We'll do that next. Whew, that line is dangerously close to her leg. I should have drawn that different. That wing looks a little too much like a bird wing. But that's okay. I'm trying to make it look plush. Along with being a bat wing shape. Because obviously bat wings are not rounded. But with it being a pillow, it would be. But yeah, I definitely messed up with the other wing. But that's fine, because you can barely see it. I'll probably fill this in later anyway, so it's just solid, so I can kind of reshape it a bit. For a second I thought I would have to reload my chat because it just said disconnected, but it says it's reconnected now, so it should be fine. If I don't see your message, it's probably because chat's being funky, but it probably just lost connection for a second and it's back, so it's probably fine. So this is what I do in my art history class. I'm taking art history 2 right now. I took art history 1 last semester. But yeah, we just listen to our professor yap, and that's it. And he really doesn't care what you do during class. So most of the class just draws in class, and so I've been doing this stuff during class. And a couple students were literally playing Minecraft in class at one point, and then he made fun of them, and then they stopped doing it, but he actually doesn't care. He was just picking on them. You could add little triangles in it to make it look more bat-like. Oh yeah, like the fingers, like on the ends, or like, oh, like triangles like this. Yeah, I could. I'll think about that when I get to the coloring phase, because I might just like leave some lines uncolored in there to give that look that you're talking about, or I might just fill in the whole thing with black. But I don't need to think about it right now because I'm just doing the lines. I'm not doing any like shading or coloring right now. So once all of the lines are done, then I'll go back through and I'll fill in some areas that are supposed to be black. And probably do some hatching for areas. Yeah, so I'll worry about that detail later, so I have some time to think about it. But it's definitely an idea. I think the plant is the next thing. I don't know why plants intimidate me. Like, this is literally such a simple thing to draw. It's just a little like heart-shaped leaves and then like attached to a stem. Like, that's not complex, but for some reason I always worry that plants I draw are gonna look terrible. And as a result, I don't draw a lot of plants in my art, and that's a shame because I like plants and they add so much to a scene. So I should just suck it up, get over it, face my fears. That's what sketchbooks are for. Sketchbook art doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want this to be a tangent, so let's cut into there. That leaf looks a little fat, but that's okay. There we go. Have you guys been watching any interesting shows recently? Or do you have any, like, shows that you've watched in the past that you recommend? I've been trying to find things to watch while I'm, like, studying and doing homework and stuff. And it's a little bit tough because, I feel like the things that I think of that I want to watch are, like, either I don't have access to them for one reason or another, or, like, they're anime, and I don't watch anime in English ever. I only watch it in Japanese with subtitles. But I can't read subtitles while I'm, like, doing homework. I only have 2 sets of eyes. I can't watch both at once. So I can't watch anime while I'm doing that. I'll still take anime recommendations, but, like, I need some things besides anime to watch that I haven't watched a million times before, because the only, like, American TV shows I can think of that I could watch, I've, like, already seen a good amount of times. You've been watching House MD and X-Files? I should check out X-Files. I haven't seen that one. I've seen a little bit of House. I feel like I'd have to be in the right mood for it, because it is medical stuff, and medical stuff does, like, gross me out a little bit. So while I'm, like, trying to chill at home, it's definitely not the right vibe, but when I want some drama, it could be. So I should try it, because it's definitely interesting. I like shows from that kind of era. I've watched Monk like twice through now, and I really like Monk. Monk is like a crime scene investigation with a little bit of comedy, and I really enjoy that one. But like I mentioned, I've watched it already, so I need something else to watch. Yeah, I should check out X-Files for sure, because I haven't seen any of that one yet. House is definitely a mood. Yeah, cranky old man is definitely relatable sometimes, especially when he works with a bunch of idiots and gets, like, frustrated with their idiocy all the time. House himself as a character needs a bit of mental prep because the things he says are crazy. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm well aware. I can definitely put up with that kind of crazy. That doesn't bother me. It's just like I don't even know how to describe it. Just seeing like sick people in a hospital sometimes is like yucky to me. Like I remember just seeing a clip from House where a kid like threw up blood on the screen because they like had the camera on the floor and the camera was just bloody and it was kind of icky. And like I can handle gore in something, but when it's medical, I feel like it just feels more real, and then it like is grosser to me. And that's not saying that I can't watch it. I definitely would still watch something with that kind of content. I just have to like be in the right mood to be able to take it. But I like the character. House is fun. I feel like there were a lot of really good characters from that era of television. What else? I've watched Psych. Most of Psych. I've watched the beginning of Psych like 3 or 4 times, and then I haven't quite finished the end of it. And that's like a little bit newer than those, but it's like kind of similar in the like crime scene investigation category. It's really goofy and it's also really fun. What else have I been watching recently? I've just been watching a lot of The Office, which is like I've seen it a million times already. I had started Parks and Rec, but that one feels weird to watch because I started it with my siblings, and then watching it without them feels weird. And I've been watching Schitt's Creek, but again, I've already seen that one. You need to go eat? Okay. Enjoy your food. Oh, and thanks for coming by. I have a pretty decent list of anime I need to watch too. But I have that problem where I don't have a lot of time to just sit and watch things. trying to decide if I want to do the bookshelves first or their faces first. I always save the faces for last because I feel like they're the most intimidating part to line, because it's the easiest to like mess them up and then like the entire character looks wrong. But then bookshelves are just a lot of very straight lines, and that can be difficult with pen too. I think I'll go ahead and do their faces, and then I'll save the bookshelves for later, because that's gonna be tedious. It's gonna like take me a while and not be that interesting. So we'll take a thinner pen to do their faces, because if it's thinner, then I can like get those fine details more easily without worrying about it like completely ruining the face. And when I'm sketching face details, I like to do it like straight up, like in proper position of the page. Like I don't like tilting the page or anything to sketch out the face, because I want to see it like in the position it's supposed to be in, and I don't want to like mess up the angle, because then if I like have it sideways and I'm drawing the eye, then when I flip it this way, I might look wrong. So I sketch it in the proper position, and then when I'm lining, I have a little more leeway because I already know where the lines are supposed to be. But I know for my traditional art, sometimes my faces are not quite perfect, like the eyes are not totally lined up, because I don't have a flip canvas tool, and I don't like, you know, do the trick where you look through the page and stuff. Like, I'm too lazy for all that. So I just let my eyes be slightly off, because it's just sketchbook art anyway, and it doesn't matter that much. I feel like you barely even notice anyway, and it's not like that distracting. You can get away with your traditional like inked art being imperfect more easily, because everybody knows that it's like harder to get it perfect, and like you kind of have the novelty of it being like traditional ink. So you can just say it's part of the vibe that it's not perfect, and it kind of works. I've been doing a lot of traditional art recently, actually, because usually I do mostly digital, just because it's more convenient. Like, I don't have to pay for supplies, I can take my computer anywhere, I can upload art straight from my computer instead of having to take pictures of it. But I've been like drawing in class, or taking a sketchbook out somewhere with me and then drawing in it, things like that. So I've just been doing a lot of traditional. I have not been doing nearly as much digital, and it's kind of a nice change of pace. I think traditional and digital both have their own different like value and their uses. They're both good in different ways. But there's just something different about traditional. Like, you're more connected to it because it's like physical. You've got the textures, the feelings with your hand. Like, it's not on a screen. It's just, it feels more personal, and like, because I can't just press the undo button, like, what comes from my hand, like, that's it. Like, it's just raw art skill and like, just, I don't know. So it's definitely good, I think, even if you're a primarily digital artist, to like at least do some sketching traditionally. I think it's a really good exercise. It can really help you grow as an artist. Like, I feel like my line quality, since I started doing ink like sketches, has like drastically improved. I used to struggle a lot with getting straight lines and like making my lines look confident and not either like scratchy or wobbly. But then like the past few years I've been doing most of my sketching in pen and just going for it and doing like a lot of like traditional ink sketches. And I've gotten compliments for my line work, and I feel like it looks like my line quality looks pretty good. So I definitely vouch for it. I think it's a really good exercise, and it's okay if it looks awful. So I was really intimidated to start sketching with pen. And so I was definitely not confident, and at first my sketches were not great, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, and then it becomes more natural. You just have to get past that initial, like, you know, the first time you do it, it's not gonna look good. Whoop. There's that. And I think this is where I'm gonna leave it for today, because I have been streaming for a couple hours. We started at 3, right? Or like 3:15. So it's been almost 2 hours. So I'll go ahead and wrap up, but there's the progress we made. Her toesies. His cute little face. I love him. And then I'm just gonna do the bookshelves off stream and then fill in some black areas, give it a little more dimension and interest, visual interest. And then I'll eventually share the finished project with you so you can see how it looks. And there's our little warm-up doodles that we did earlier. So thanks for being here. It's been fun chatting and catching up with everybody. I can't guarantee when I will be back. If I have time, I might try to fit in another stream next week because I'll be visiting again next week, but for the concert. I'll be here for a concert, and then I might have to head back pretty soon because I requested the weekend off of work and they didn't actually give me the weekend off, so I might have to run back and work a shift. But if I'm able to fit in a stream, I'll try to stream next week. If not, maybe Thanksgiving. Maybe the week of Thanksgiving I'll put one in, because we have an entire week off plus both weekends, like before and after that week. So I should be able to stream at some point during that time, even if I'm still working. So we'll plan on that. And I will try to get some content done at some point in that time too, because I do have content that I want to post. I just need to find time to put all the pieces together. So look forward to that. Don't forget, if you want to join the Discord, there should be a link to join in the description. And that's about it. I'm not gonna pitch a bunch of stuff for you. I think that's it. I don't think I have any other updates for you guys. So, thanks for coming out. It was good to see everybody. Good to see all the familiar faces in chat. And good to have you lurkers too. I don't forget about you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed coming along on my little doodle journey here. We chatted a bunch at the start, and then I got kind of absorbed into the art process. So I hope you enjoyed both my yapping and my inking. And I will see you next time, whenever that is. Stay safe, have fun, yeah, have a good one. See you then. Bye-bye. I don't know which end screen is gonna come up. It might be Arashi's, because I might have forgotten to set that part up. So, just a warning, you might not see mine. I'll switch it for you if it's Arashi's. Anyway, bye-bye! Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Bye-bye.